I give them.
Who's going to reach around me?
The donkey that you need to punch.
See, this is why we say this week, Positively Godless. Hang up on her. No,
No, just go for it. Just go.
this week, Positively Godless, we're here back, Positively Goddess. Stephanie Tomlinson has made her return. Unbeknownst to Jerry, he had no idea it was happening, but it's a good little
You
prank.
can't just ruin it. You have to show the surprise.
Okay.
Damn it.
You ruined it, Scott. You ruined
Totally
that whole
ruined it.
awesome intro.
It sounds like my wife says that to me all the time. You just
You ruined it.
Crazy! Over, under, feeling crazy! It was no wonder, you're just making me crazy!
Oh, how about John Kerry talking today about ISIS and declaring that they are committing genocide on Christians?
Did you wiki ISIS? Or were you watching The Walking Dead?
Hang up on him. Please hang up on him.
Don't hang up on me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Positively Godless. I'm one of your three co-hosts, Scott Lawrence, joined by Tyler Zoolander and Jess Jerry. Oh, my God. I got it right. We got to keep going. Seriously.
I can't even.
Wow.
As long as you know what the topic is, Scott, I guess we're going to go into it.
Yes.
Hi, Tyler. How are you? I missed you.
Just peachy. Especially after the last 12, 13 minutes it took for us to get to this point.
Jerry, I don't know why you just can't get it together.
Excuse me.
Did you queef?
I know how to use Skype. Okay.
I love that word.
Why did you even have to say something like that? That
Should we do-
grin on his face. Oh my gosh.
Should we do comments quick?
I mean, isn't that what we normally do?
Yeah, it is.
So why are you asking?
Because it's just
What
what
is
I
your
do.
rush tonight?
I'm just excited. Excited for stuff.
I know. You have to be excited when you're in my presence. I mean, there's no other way to feel.
I know. And isn't this awesome?
Why do you keep subscribing the Positively Godless channel to all of these random YouTube channels?
I can't see her, Tyler. Can you?
I didn't see anything. What are you doing? What did you do?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Why do I subscribe to all these channels? Who are you talking
Why
to?
do you keep subscribing our Positively Godless channel to all these random channels?
I don't know. What the hell happened?
You're the one that does it. Me and Tyler don't.
I do it because I like to.
Okay.
Because I like to.
Oh, come on,
It's going
work.
to be a fun show tonight.
I thought I heard giggles.
K-Tap says, have you guys considered putting a podcast up on iTunes?
Yes.
We've considered it, but in order to do that, don't we have to host our own website with our own server, and that costs money? And
No,
Well, we have to set up something at least as a place to host the podcasts.
right.
Which, whether that involves going through something like WordPress or another thing or hosting our own domain and going through that. Because when you upload podcasts to iTunes or other things like that, iTunes is just a feed for the podcasts. Any podcast that you look up and find on iTunes is hosted somewhere else.
Right.
iTunes is just a place to aggregate and put all of the podcasts together so that you can find them and search for them and see categories and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we have thought about it without spending more time and money to be able to do that. We haven't gone down that route yet. But it is something we've thought about and talked about.
But there is an easy way to make any of our shows an MP3 file for you
Right.
to put onto your device. And if you have an Android device, it's a heck of a lot easier to do because you can probably do it, or you can do it right from the device. If you have an Apple iPhone, you're kind of out in the cold by that. But KTAP, if you want to email me at justjerry@gmail.com, I'm sure I can find the instructions and show you how to do it, because I've made YouTube videos MP3s so that I could cut them and make ringtones out of the audio. Remember the little girl that I showed you guys that did the ice bucket challenge?
Yeah.
The little girl
Yes.
with the accent, and at the end she screamed. Well, I took that with her saying effing hell, and I took that and made it a text message tone.
Did you really?
Yes, and I took a YouTube video for Moxie Girls Poopsie Pets, and I took the audio from that and made it a ringtone. And so I don't have it on there now, but my phone used to say, "Hey, hey, hey, Moxie Girls Poopsie Pets," when it rang.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, so KTAP, you can email Jerry. You could also email us positivelygodless@gmail.com. You can visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/positivelygodless, or at youtube.com/positivelygodless, or on Twitter @pgodless.
Okay. Steve Punk. Speaking
Who's
of
that?
ice cream, really? Really?
We're such an
I'm so
A-hole.
distracted right now.
Well, get your head out of your ass.
That might help.
Okay.
Speaking of ice cream, Jerry likes chocolate. LOL. Scott will always be
Was that a gay joke?
left with vanilla. I don't know. Come on, Tyler. Give Scott the strawberry for once.
I don't think I can do that.
Thank you, Steve Punk. I appreciate that. We love you.
If you want-
I don't think I can give him the strawberry. That's my favorite.
Scott, if you want strawberry ice cream, go out and buy it yourself.
I don't like strawberry ice cream because it's got strawberries in it, and it's like chunky
You're racist.
crap. No, I'm
That's
not
racist.
against strawberries.
That's racist.
Oh.
What are you looking at? What's so important on your phone that is more important than us?
I'm texting somebody right now. Leave me
Who
alone.
you texting?
Just-
Did you say leave you alone? Did he just say that?
Yes,
Did
he
I-
absolutely did.
He said, I'm texting. We're in the middle of a show, and he says, I'm texting someone right now. Leave me alone.
Uh-huh.
When I read the next comment, don't ask
Welcome
me
to my
reread
life,
it.
Jerry, every single time that we
I
hang
will
out.
not be rereading the next comment. I'm reading it once.
But she's hot.
Head case
Continue.
says, my mother-in-law was an elementary school teacher, and she started my kids' education long before they even started school. She didn't believe in God either, so by the time any religious teachings were brought into their view, they were well equipped to make a decision for themselves. Good job. I mean, that's, like I said on last week's episode, I was taking a CCD so that I can make my communion and confirmation. And then after that, it was just like pretty much up to me. Like nobody forced me to go to church or do any of that stuff. So that's it. 3 episodes, 59 views for last week's episode so far.
That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But whatever.
It does. We've said it before. We're not here for the views. We're here because we enjoy doing this.
Maybe you aren't here for the views.
Hold on, my light. My light's important. Anyway, no, I mean we're not here for the views. We're here because we enjoy doing this. This is something that we can weekly do.
Do weekly, not weekly do.
I will bust out this book so fast and start reading to you again.
Yeah, again, you can't read a whole sentence even from a book.
That was so funny.
You proved that last week.
Yeah, that's true. We are looking to host another debate. We'll keep you posted on that. And then this week is episode 48. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So we may have something cool planned for episode 50. We'll have to have a production meeting one of these days and talk about it. So if that ever happens.
That's never going to happen.
I know.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
What?
We were trying to have a production meeting. But then
but you know why?
13 minutes to answer a Skype call. And then you just rolled right into the show.
Yeah. And the reason why I rolled right into the show, because I finally got it right after 7-8 months of trying desperately. And I finally got it flawless.
I guess it'll be another 7 or 8 months before Scott's able to do the intro to the show. So
do it.
At least maybe we can have production meetings.
Just do it. Do it. Tyler, do it. Just do it.
I'm going to do you.
Oh, God, I'm so freaking erect right now.
What's going on right now?
Hinduism!
Yay!
Hey, I was totally not told you were coming on.
Oh, hi!
I wish I was. Okay, so here's what happened.
Hang on, real quick, Jerry. It's a really good thing that Scott ended up telling me because he was not able to connect and get you onto the call. I had to do it. And so
Why are you in HD showing us up?
Yeah, right?
Am I?
Yes.
Look fantastic.
Super fast internet connection now.
Yeah, I do. I have a really good internet here. We actually, my background's kind of drab because we're in a temporary apartment until ours is open in May. But the internet here is amazing. I love it.
We have Fios?
Not yet. We'll have that in June. They're just now getting it in the area.
Okay.
The fiber optic, whatever.
It's Verizon.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't know much about it, but he's really excited about it because he games. I play on Facebook.
Yes, you do.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, apparently we have Stephanie Tomlinson back as a special guest.
Yes.
I'm just as surprised as everybody else. I literally had no clue.
and Stephanie is now Hindu, so it just falls right into place with the topic today.
That's interesting. Well, tell us about yourself, Stephanie.
She doesn't need to. She's been a returning guest. We finally have a returning guest. This is awesome.
I feel like a celebrity. Yeah, it's been like 9 months, like 33 episodes.
We could have had a baby.
Yeah,
I could have. I
For
could
your
not,
children.
thankfully.
We are your children.
Right?
Has it been that long since you've been on?
It has. It has been 9 months. It has been 33 episodes. Not that I'm
She's not counting or anything.
Awesome.
Well, 33. This will make 34, but I'm here, so I guess that doesn't technically count.
Right.
Now, so what we're going to do today, we're going to do part 2 of our series about parenting.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I said series and just to tick you off.
Jerry.
So, can I fill you in on what happened before you got here?
Yeah, sure.
Scott couldn't answer a Skype call. It took 13 minutes for him to answer the Skype call.
How dare he?
And we have been doing this for over a year now.
Charge him for that time. Bill him.
He's not
Don't
good for
tell
it,
them.
Time is
Problem
money.
is,
Don't tell them
The
to
problem
bill
is
me.
I have-
I owe them too much.
yeah, the problem is I'd have better luck getting hit by lightning
and winning the
being bit by
Powerball
a
in the
shark.
same day.
At the exact same time.
Right. I'd get hit by lightning, bit by a shark, and win the Powerball.
That could be
And be straight.
semi-possible if it were a Sharknado. Is a thing. My 8-year-old is really into Sharknado right now. So
I tried to watch it. I think I fell asleep because it was like 10 o'clock at night, or I was drunk. One of the two.
Or both.
I'm
Or
usually
both.
drunk, or both.
So before we get going into part 2 of our series,
Part 2 of
Got
ours.
it right.
It's so official.
I don't know if you have if you've kept up with any or all of our episodes.
I have.
Gave
I've
up
definitely
just like everybody else.
No, I've definitely missed some. I've been in and out with the move and stuff, but I've seen probably about half since I was on. I try to remember, but sometimes I suck.
Okay. Well, if we can kind of go through a let's go one by one through every episode and get your
Every
opinion. No, I'm just kidding.
single episode.
Wait, I have a question.
In-
Did you
Yes.
see the anniversary episode?
I saw half of the anniversary episode.
Oh wait, was it the first
Like-
half?
Or the
really
second?
bad.
Yeah, she saw the
It
flank.
was.
The first
I-
half with the
I-
uncomfortably godless.
Yes. No, I skipped through and watched the second half because that's something people do.
Well,
Well, because the second
No,
half
I
is
did
actually
actually,
better than the show.
As I mentioned, I moved out of state. I moved from Illinois to Wisconsin, and that came out like the weekend that I was moving. And so I was
Okay.
like, I need to see this, and I never got around to watching the other
Well,
half.
It's not there. It's not like you can't go back and watch it.
Right.
Okay. So
Yay,
Tyler,
internet.
go ahead. You were going to ask a question, and I rudely interrupted.
no, I was just gonna
Sorry.
ask, what's new? I mean, because from this side, Jerry's still gay. Scott is still a flaming idiot. The only thing that's really new on my side is I am now a believer in the end time prophecies.
Oh,
I believe that the end is near. Donald Trump is that much closer to getting the nomination.
Right.
And this is why we lost so many
the
viewers.
devil
Now, is this-
incarnate himself is almost there.
is this the end times in a biblical sense or an environmental sense? Or I mean, you got to be more specific.
Going to be the Big Bang all over again.
Right.
This is fire
The big
and
unbang.
brimstone, the 4 horsemen, the signs of the apocalypse, everything. It's happening right now, and his name is Donald Trump.
I mean, I'm willing to wager money that Donald Trump's hair is a sign of the apocalypse in itself. So, did you guys see the image that's going around right now? Somebody snapped on one of the debates of it looks like there is duct tape. I think it's just the tape from his hairpiece, but it literally looks like he has duct tape up under. It's just very
not seen
comical.
I've not
I've not
seen
seen
that.
that.
All right, I'm going to Google that right
And
now.
there are, of course, there are people on the thread that I saw on Facebook. It was shared on some site, and there are people claiming that it's a microchip because he's an alien robot or so. I don't remember what the theory was, but it was amazing.
No, the explanation is much simpler than that. He is Satan. I mean,
Oh, God,
it's
yeah. If
Yeah.
it exists.
If there's anything that would make me a believer, it would be that there is a God because Donald Trump is Satan. I'm just convinced. But anyway, what else is new with you? Let's get caught up quick before we dive into our topic for tonight.
Still, same old. Lots of kids, lots of busyness. Scott actually tried a few months ago to get me on, and it's just been crazy.
On the show.
Yeah, on the show.
Not one-on-one.
Yeah, no.
She's taken, Scott, and
So am
so
I.
are you.
Scott is distracting me.
Yes. With my
Don't be
hotness.
distracted by him. You have a better chance of having a fun time with me.
I do hear there are cats.
I have 2 of them.
Anyway, so my significant other is actually getting out of the military a year sooner than we thought he would, thankfully. So I made a move that was supposed to happen a few months down the road in an entire weekend. And since then, I've been slowly trying not to lose my mind, just getting settled in a new state. I start working at a doggy daycare soon, which will be a very exciting
Yeah,
experience
congratulations.
for me. Yeah.
I think that would be great for you.
I think it will. I love dogs. I'm a crazy dog lady. But just trying to keep my sanity with 4 children.
Now you're close
I
to
feel like I'm in
Minnesota.
an interview. You're making me talk about myself.
Yes, well, that's why we have
Well,
you.
that's why we
on,
have you
Steph.
here.
What are your strengths?
No, you're near Minnesota, so we're like neighbors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. I
What
don't
are
know.
you insinuating, Scott? I don't think Stephanie's coming to your house for any
I
reason
never
at all.
invite them to my house.
He never invites
That's-
anybody over to his house.
No.
Never at the house.
He's a hermit.
The
I am too. I don't even
Yeah.
like to leave the house. So being in a whole new state, it's like there are things that I should should be doing and seeing and things of that nature. And I'm just like, but this couch.
Like
No.
finding the closest grocery store.
Right. I
And
actually did that
Walgreens.
the other day without GPS. This is a very momentous occasion.
Oh no. I've been living in my apartment for almost 4 years now, and I still use GPS to get around to find stuff.
See, I'm getting used to this, and where this is just a temporary place until May, and so I'm getting used to this area, and then we're moving a few blocks away. But here, right outside of the city, a few blocks is a whole new neighborhood, and so it's just I'm gonna die.
I'm
Anyway,
not gonna die, but you
That's
know.
life. The
Yeah.
only thing constant is change.
and I'm
So-
Hindu now apparently, so there's that.
Right. Do you have
So
the
yeah,
post
he was
up?
lying about that, right? He really wasn't telling the truth.
No, he's a liar.
I'm not a liar. I was pulling a prank.
Okay, he's
The
a
difference.
prankster.
I'm a
He's
prankster.
not a prankster. He can't even complete a sentence.
Tyler was in on this prank too, so there you go.
It
Do you
wasn't
want
a
to?
prank, it
At
was
first,
just a
he tried.
surprise.
He tried to not tell Tyler too, but
Right.
then Tyler was going to post on my wall or something of the sort, and he's like, "Act surprised," and then he's like, "Wait, never mind."
Because
Go ahead.
Scott also tried to prank me, and this is his uber believable prank. I'm sitting next to him. I'm over at his house on Sunday and sitting in the chair beside him, and
Hot.
somehow your name came up, and I was like, well, I'll just go and post on her Facebook wall. And Scott goes, you can't do that. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, well, because she's dead.
As if you couldn't have gone to my wall, because I'm fairly certain we're Facebook friends, and I literally post 74 times a day on average.
Which
He never goes on Facebook anymore, though.
I don't, but I still have the app on my phone. So I went in, and sure enough, and I was like, oh, that's funny. So who was it that posted on her wall an hour ago, and 4 hours ago, and 9 hours ago, and 13 hours ago?
It's the ghost of Steffi's past.
You
That's
couldn't have come up with anything more realistic or plausible than
No.
she's dead.
Wait, this is important. Look at my bottle opener. It
It's
is
a
the
Millennium
Millennium
Falcon.
Falcon.
Jerry doesn't know what that is, so
I know
he
it's
has
from
no
Star
idea.
Wars.
My bathroom is Star Wars. I have Star Wars placemats on my table
What is
and in my
that?
kitchen, and like everything is
Oh my gosh.
under the mask of Trump.
Sorry.
Wow.
I'm trying to find our thread that Stephanie and I were talking about.
Yeah, I tried to search
Here it
for it
is.
earlier. I don't know where it went. Oh,
What in what?
Scott, we don't need that on our show. It's a PG
It's
show.
a face.
It's a
She's
PG
getting
show.
a ask for prayer.
Looks
She's
like-
possessed by the devil.
she
This
is
looks
poor
like
woman.
clearly
she's about
possessed
to-
by-
You didn't. Sherry, you didn't.
I still don't know what that is.
Oh,
Even
moving
though
on.
Tyler
Elsa's
said
not still not talking to me, by the way.
Moving
It is-
on.
2016. There is no excuse to not know what anything is. You have Google in
have-
your hand.
He's got a phone in his hand with the power of Google, and he still refuses.
Stephanie, I can't
Moving
find.
on.
Yes,
Who-
Scott, you brought Stephanie on, and
Well,
we've
thanks
had
for
a
coming by, Stephanie. See ya. No.
We've had a lovely catch up, but I think
I love
we're losing
catch-up.
viewers by the second at this point. So
Oh.
we might want to start a topic.
I can't find the thread. There was somebody on Godless and Proud who posted a question, and it fits so well with their series.
I
of
actually,
parenting.
yeah, I pretty well remember everything.
Do you remember
I'm
the
like
gist? That's great.
I'm like an
Yeah.
elephant. No, I do remember the thread though. Someone had posted asking what you would do if your child wanted to go to church, wanted to learn about, God or say any other religion, which actually fits in really well with what you guys discussed last week, which I guess kind of carries over this week.
Yeah, and just real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, Stephanie, but
Yeah, go ahead.
before, if you were not one of the 57 views last week, which thank you to those of you who
I
were.
was.
But
Yay!
for those, if you are watching this and you did not check out last week's episode, we may reference back to some of that stuff, and we talked about parenting as a believer versus a non-believer, and we went into that discussion. So just to give a little back story for anybody who's tuning in and didn't see last week's episode.
So one of the things that got to me, and it's something that's been on my mind since, I want to say that was posted Saturday or Sunday. I got to thinking on the topic of indoctrination, which of course is something we'll cover more in depth later. But I also, something that's been weighing on my mind lately is it possible for an atheist to enforce, say, indoctrination, so to speak, on a child? Because I saw so many people, and I've seen in other threads as well, you have the people like me, like Scott discussed and like Tyler discussed last week, that, are open to allowing their children to look into other beliefs and to explore other routes. But you have so many that are like, my child will never go to church. My child will be told they're wrong. And to me, like, is that not just as bad as the parents that are forcing this blind faith on their children? If you're not giving them the option to seek answers on their own, are you not just as bad? And I get that we can argue, in a lot of our views, religion is definitely a lot worse than not having religion. But at the end of the day, it's all forcing your beliefs on a child. And it's just something I'm seeing more and more these days. It's really getting to me.
Well, the short answer
Ramble,
to
I'm
your
sorry. Yeah.
no, that's all right. The short answer to your question is it not the same? Yes, it is exactly the same. I talked about when I was a kid, I was made my communion and my confirmation, but I wasn't forced to go to church. I wasn't told that I had to do anything as far as religion goes. And, I was, I was able to make up my mind. I mean, I did go to church. I went to church with my grandmother. Sometimes I don't remember if I did go by myself. Maybe I did once or twice. But every time I went, I just felt so out of place, so uncomfortable. I could never just connect with anything that was said. I couldn't connect with the whole concept. It just was, it was always odd to me, that whole concept. And that's why I am how I am today.
And see, I have, I feel like I'm dominating the conversation. I'm sorry.
You're a guest. Please do.
My older children are 7 and 8 years old. And my 8-year-old is very adamant. He's very into science. He loves cosmos. He loves this and that. He's very adamant he doesn't believe, because he's actually starting to read into things, and he believes there is no God. My 7-year-old, however, something that I actually caught a lot of flack for in a few atheist groups, which surprised me, over Christmas, because my boyfriend is in the military. He was home on leave, and his mother wanted us to go to church. So we took the kids and we went to a Catholic church, and I feel like it's good to give them that experience. My 7-year-old has since decided that she's Catholic. She's 7. She's been to church once. It's something new and exciting. It may be something she pursues down the road. It may not. But for the time being, I'm not going to tell her she's wrong. And I'm getting a lot of backlash from other parents for that, for letting her at that age kind of find it on her own.
Now, I asked Scott last week and Tyler, if she says to you on Saturday night, Mommy, I want to go to church tomorrow. Obviously, she can't get there herself.
Right.
So you have to take her.
Absolutely. And I would.
And you would.
I would. I grew up in The best way to describe it is a secular household, even though my mother was a Christian. She believed, but she did not force us to go to church. She did not have, she's always believed in God, no religion in the home. But anytime we had questions, even though we were questioning things outside of her belief, she would sit with us. She would read with us. She would take us to different churches, even though she herself was a Presbyterian. And to me, I credit a lot of that to the way that I am today. And so I can only hope to do as well with my children when it comes to things like that.
Right.
So someone else can talk now.
Yeah,
but
I'm just
Scott.
I have so much that's going through my head right now. Yeah, I mean, because when I think I mentioned last week, and maybe I didn't. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But even if Gavin, let's say, decided he's even a decision if he believed, he's like, you know what, I'm kind of buying this God thing, because it makes me feel good, and I think he's real. I support him 100%. That's to me not indoctrination. What indoctrination would, I think we were talking about the opposite of a non-theist or non-believer would be, is just like when he says, I do believe in God and I really believe this, us saying, why?
Right.
That
Well,
is the negative of indoctrination in a sense. But go ahead, Tyler.
no. First of all, hi, Gavin. But second of all,
Bitch.
what I was gonna, I think that there, I think that there is a clear difference between simply asking why and questioning it, no matter which side you're on, versus saying, no, that's wrong, this is right. Those are two very different things.
But did you hear how I asked why? That's that underhanded.
Well, it does. Infliction can convey a lot.
It can,
that's what I meant.
Still, at the heart of it, though.
Right. But I mean, you know me and I know you, where if that situation came up with Gavin, for example, I would say, really cool, tell me about it. Rather than asking why, because why tends to have a negative, where tell me about it, they can actually talk freely and openly versus being judged. That's my view.
Why?
Well,
why is that your... But why?
Well, because I'm leaving the show and Christopher Mowdy is going to come on in my place. And...
I saw that. I'm very excited. It's about time. I mean, no.
I can't hang up on her. Why?
Well played.
Tell me about why I can't. Tell me about it. Damn it, I can't do it.
Keep going.
I don't think there's anything wrong with asking why. If you don't ask
No.
why, you never know the answer to your question. You never know why.
But
See,
tone is a big thing.
It is. But see, I feel like we should be asking why. I feel like even my oldest, who says, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, I say, why? Why do you feel that way? I think it's important to question children. I think it's important to sort of challenge them to know themselves why they're doing things, so that they're not just blindly leading.
I mean,
Right.
it's no different than them, sitting and looking at a math problem on a piece of paper, and just in their head they come up with a solution and they say, "Oh, this is it," and you ask them why. Well, why
Show
is
your
that
work,
it? Yeah, show
so
your
to
work.
speak.
I mean, obviously that's different, but
Right.
it's along the same lines of why or how did you come to that conclusion?
Right.
What's your are you believing in this stuff or not believing in this stuff just simply because your other friends at school are that way? So you're just blindly following them instead of blindly following your parents? I mean, that's not any better. So, I mean, or are you formulating these opinions off of things that you have experienced, things that you've read or researched or whatever it is? And I understand with a 7, almost 8-year-old in a couple of weeks here, that exact same thing where he's very much in that, he's very much in a middle ground where a lot of that childhood innocence is starting to break down,
Yeah.
but he's
Really
not
at that
fully
age.
out of it yet.
Yeah.
And, Scott, maybe you can speak to it a little more with Gavin since he's older, but
I hope you don't plan on
with
telling.
where
Sorry.
Ethan is, it's kind of in that in-between ground yet where I'm not going to have that discussion with my 2-year-old.
Right.
He
right.
doesn't, he's not going to understand any of it.
Yeah,
I
I have
hope
so
you
much
don't
to
plan
say.
on telling him that Santa Claus isn't real because you know that's a lie.
Here, seriously, we went 9 months without hearing you complain
Santa
about
Claus
Santa.
is real.
Santa Claus is totally real.
You have no more proof that he isn't real.
Well, wait a minute though. If you say that, the argument can be made that we have no more proof that God isn't real.
Oh, here we go, down the slippery
That's
slope.
true. No, it could be. He's
Yeah.
exactly right. He's got me there.
Scott,
But Santa Claus is totally real.
Okay, so kind of back to the topic of why we should question children when they say, I believe this, I don't believe this. I think one thing that a lot of, atheists, non-believers, whatever you want to call yourselves, tend to lose sight of is we, two Christians, two people with a different set of beliefs, we look just as stupid to them as they look to us, to put it bluntly. And to me, we see, you brought up Jesus Camp last week. We see documentaries like that. We see these videos of these infants praying and things of that nature. And to us, it looks so horrible. But you have to imagine how my 8-year-old saying he doesn't believe in God looks to a believer. And so for me, it's so important to challenge him in a sense to make sure he knows why he believes this or doesn't believe this, because he's going to face, even at that age, it's already happening at school, things of that nature. He's going to face people that think he is ridiculous, just like we think their beliefs are. And I think it's important when they reach that age, when they start questioning, you really have to instill that sense of surety in them.
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought because
That's
Scott
okay.
froze
well,
up.
yeah, and so you're saying because you're a non-believer and your son is a non-believer to question why and reaffirm for him to be stronger, I guess, in his non-belief.
Exactly.
But,
which is still his belief system, so to speak.
Sure. So then what about the flip side with your 7-year-old and wanting to go to a Catholic church and you start questioning why? And if that line of questioning doesn't waver, or if it reaffirms even more in the direction of religion, then do you help to reinforce that, or do you try to steer away?
As hard as it is, because as a non-believer, being someone who thinks, like, I don't want my child to follow down this religious path, especially, I'm sorry, don't want to offend anybody, but with Catholicism. But to me, I think that my job as a parent overrides my personal beliefs about religion. It is my job to guide them. It is my job to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do and what they want to do because it's what feels right to them. So I have sat and gone over the Bible with her. I have explained why they do the sign of the cross. I have had to go. It's so hard to find that balance because I don't want to lead her. But if she has a question, if she wants to know more about it, I feel like as her parent, that's, if she asks me why the sky is blue, I'm going to research that and help her learn herself why it is. And so I feel like it just falls in line with that. It's all the same to me. And yes, I want her to see past religion. I want her to grow up and have more of a sense of self than a deity. But she has time for that. And I see no harm in her exploring her options right now.
There isn't.
Did you get all that?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think whether it's from a believer or non-believer side, I think that's a very unique perspective because I don't think a lot of parents. Yeah. There are a lot of. First of all, there's a whole subsection of parents that really don't even care and don't encourage their children that much at
Either
all.
way.
But when you take either side of the spectrum where things tend to get more fierce, and going back to what you were saying towards the beginning of the conversation about non-believing parents having the same type of effect as believing parents and denying their kids any kind of choice, I think there is a very small subset of people that are open-minded enough to be able to allow their kids to explore
Right.
whatever avenue that they want.
Right. And it's not an easy mindset to have. It's not. It's
It's
something
not.
you really have to almost force, because we'll be getting ready to eat and and I'm like, really, come on, but internally, because to me it seems ridiculous, but I have to, like I said, I have to keep in mind that me not praying before I eat seems ridiculous to a whole group of people. Just all the little things like that. I feel like you have to think more outside of yourself and outside of what you feel and what you believe when it comes to helping your children in a lot of aspects.
Do you think that? Oh, go ahead, Jerry. I'm sorry.
So, if she wants to pray before she eats, like she wants to say grace or whatever, do you let her do that on her own, or do you in family while she's doing that?
She does it on her own, but we are respectful and let her say her prayer and do her little cross thing, and then we eat. I'm trying to teach I've got 3 boys aside from my daughter, and I've been trying to teach them, you don't have to pray, but let's be respectful while she is, just like she doesn't want to. She's even reached a point, she's a very bright child. She told me the other day when the boys were watching Cosmos, the newer one, she said, I don't think I should be watching this because I don't have an interest in science. Her exact words, she said, I don't have an interest in science and I don't want to watch this. I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, they're still going to watch it, but they're not going to force you to watch it, and I feel like it's the same thing. Different avenue, but...
Do you think, I'm trying to, I don't think this is off topic at all, but do you think that non-believers are maybe more respectful and tolerant versus believers when it comes?
So.
Okay. I mean, that's just something I was thinking about, of how a believer would maybe favor the child or look down on somebody who doesn't pray or who looks at science with more enthusiasm versus the other child who does not,
But see, again, I feel like... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, see,
okay. That's fine.
Oh, man. This is tough because, once again, I'm going back to the "we are not experts" comment.
Of course.
Because we're not. And I don't have any sort of numbers, but I do believe that at least in the United States, if we take the U.S. as an example, which is a horrible example in so many ways, Donald Trump. But there are so many more people in this country that identify as believing in something, whether it's Christianity or Islam or anything else, then there are people that identify as non-believers. Mm-hmm. So by that outweighing ratio, I think that yes, you would end up with more people that are on the believing side that have, I guess, what you would classify as the negative viewpoint. But I would say if you took it as a ratio or a percentage of the two groups, I would think that it's probably pretty evenly split. As far as the amount of people, the only reason there aren't as many non-believing people who are closed-minded like that is because the overall non-believing population is that much smaller. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, I grew up in a home with a Christian mother, very devout, I lost a brother when I was very young, and she believes, he's in heaven, and she would tell us about this stuff, but she would always say, this is what I believe. She was very tolerant. And I feel like there are a lot of tolerant people of different faiths that don't get the credit they do because there are so many intolerant people. But on the flip side, there are so many, militant atheists that give a lot of us a bad name as well. I mean, it's with any group, you're going to have the negativity.
Right. And once again, though, do you think that it's because there are so many intolerant people on both sides, or do you think it's because the intolerant people, Trump supporters, the intolerant people are that much more vocal about it. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
You know, it's slightly off topic, but it reminds me of something. I'm in a military relationship, and my boyfriend and I had a conversation a while back about how you hear everyone knows the stories about the dependas and the bad relationships and the people who just get married for this reason. Everybody knows about the cheating spouses when it comes to the military. Nobody hears about the literal thousands of great relationships that military members have, because nobody wants to hear when there isn't drama. Nobody wants to hear when there isn't something to argue about. Nobody wants to hear the positivity 9 times out of 10. I feel like in any situation, the negative aspects of things are going to be brought to light that much sooner than the positive. So even, we can't judge there are this amount of intolerant people and this amount of tolerant people and these people think this, but you are going to hear more about the militant atheists and you are going to hear more about the intolerant Christians, because those are the people that draw more interest. Nobody cares about peaceful people. Nobody cares if, I sit on my couch and let one kid watch science and one go read the Bible, but they care if I'm out on the street protesting.
If we cared more about peaceful people, maybe we would have a peaceful society.
Exactly.
I mean, and I've been saying that since I was 12, 13 years old. It's just like, okay, so I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of watching The Real Housewives. I'm guilty of watching Vanderpump Rules. Like, I'm guilty of that.
Jersey Shore?
No. Oh my God, I want to throat punch all of them. So I like the drama, but I also know, I swear that none of that, well, not all of that, is 100% real.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the producers of these shows put these people together. They tell them, what to do. Like, they kind of tell one person. I know that they do that, right?
Yeah, they coach them.
Right. So, I mean, I can separate the reality from the drama, but
you still like that drama.
I would love to watch, people go out and have dinner and not have a conversation where they're yelling and screaming at each other, where they're having a good conversation about a good topic, But
that doesn't sell. Drama is what sells. Drama is what gets the media attention. And that's why it's so widespread. Really, that would be great. And it is great when you watch I'm a teen mom addict. I'll admit it. Love that show. And I like when everyone's not having issues. I like when everyone's getting along. But how long would that show still be on the air after 7 years if everyone just got along all the time? People thrive on that drama. They thrive on something to talk. I've been trying so hard. I'm sorry, Tyler. To talk badly about.
So it's kind of like, it gets boring when Dawson and Pacey get along.
Exactly.
And Jack was straight.
Unlike
Jack.
you.
It's so unbelievable.
Back to indoctrination. There's something that's been on my mind that I want to kind of piggyback on. Past guests, we've talked about him multiple times. Obviously, he is my hero since I have a microphone set up named Paul Ridgway. I still listen to his show just so. What's that?
You need a new hero.
You're my hero now.
Okay.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Me too.
Anyway, I still listen to his show just so I have. If you haven't noticed, Stephanie, that I'm the one that has to come up with the topics because these two lazy people don't come up with anything. I'm forced to carry the weight.
I thought that you very clearly said in last week's episode that they were deciding on the topic, though.
And clearly they didn't. So
then
I
had
had
to say that wasn't in my contract.
And then I had to resort to getting you in, and
I'm so glad I'm a last ditch effort.
You're not. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I still listen to Paul Ridgway's show because I need to get show ideas. What are you doing? Can
That's
I
what I
not?
think about your comment.
I can't do that. I'll stab myself.
Just let me know when you're done.
Go on, Scott. We are eager. We are waiting with bated breath. You have the floor. What is that face?
He's going to interrupt me. What's going on? Anyway, so I still listen to Ridgway, just for show ideas and stuff like that for future. But what just gets me is that he gets sometimes his granddaughter on, and that's fine. You can be a proud grandfather, but one, you're a radio personality and you're giving her first, middle, and last name. That kind of bothers me a lot because there's no secrecy at all. But when it's Easter, when it's Christmas, you hear this little 6-year-old girl talking about Christmas and the birth of Jesus and how these questions are asked of this. What about Jesus? Well, I love Jesus. What happened with Jesus? It's that indoctrination. It's that complete and utter manipulation and mind stuff. And it's almost child abuse. And that's a really tough word to swallow, child abuse, because we've heard it before with Jesus Camp, because that could be considered child abuse. But when I hear this little kid talk on the radio, what that is saying to me is this child will never be allowed to think for herself. And that's sad to me. And that's that indoctrination that really ticks me off.
Okay, so I need to ask a question. Devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's indoctrination to teach the children about the Bible and have them absorb and regurgitate the stories of the Bible and religion. But it's not indoctrination to teach them algebra or science and have them absorb and regurgitate all of that information.
No, it's not at all. It's education.
Just devil's advocate. Well,
no, that's education.
They think it's education for them to teach that stuff too.
Well, I think a big difference, the main difference in my eyes, and especially with the background of this specific instance being Paul Ridgway, is not the education or the exposure to the topic of Christianity or the Bible or Jesus or whatever. It is the insistence and the absolute, refuting and refusal of anything else as a possibility.
Okay, now I can get that. I mean, and I'm not saying that, that Scott's wrong for what he's saying or calling it indoctrination. I'm just, me, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And I am for religious education. I really promote that. I want people to have religious education, but as an option. For example, I've never said this on the show. I'll say it here for the first time. I think that religion should be taught in schools as a form of mythology class, not as fact, but here's what other people believe and why. I'm sorry?
When in school.
Like starting what? Kindergarten, first grade, 10th grade?
I think it would be a nice elective in a junior, senior high.
Elective? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're our guest. Please interrupt and be rude. That's fine. Whatever. Just kidding.
Elective I can get behind. Teaching it as a generalized subject, teaching it as a required subject, I would absolutely not support, because then you are telling those Christian kids in class that this is mythology.
Right. That's why I said elective.
Yeah. As an elective, that's different. But then on a college level, you have the option to take religious studies and things of that nature. So do we really need that in, say, high schools?
Well, maybe not, but I think that because we have so much separation right now, and maybe we've always had that separation where, and I hate sounding like a conservative Republican with that damn media, but ISIS is bad. ISIS is bad. Well, what's ISIS equation? That's Muslim. That person's is dark skin, has a turban or whatever they wear. They're bad people. We're not teaching our kids that that's a sect of Islamic faith. The people who blow up abortion clinics or do whatever the heck they do, that's a sect of extreme Christianity. But if we teach our children these different religions and different beliefs, so we can, I hate the term coexist, but accept people for their differences, and that'd be wonderful.
Okay, but here's the deal, right? You can't go ahead and teach the Bible or Christianity or Catholicism or any of that as mythology because it's not a dead religion. It's not
Right.
like what we learned in school as Greek mythology and all the
Right.
gods and everything. People no longer believe in that, and that's why we can call it mythology. But there are still plenty of people who believe in the Bible and who believe in
Right.
Jesus and all of that. And so you can't call it mythology and say, here you go, here's the Bible, have fun, kids.
Well, maybe mythology is a
Because
bad
you
word.
will anger a lot of people.
You can just
Right,
call
and
it
maybe-
religious studies.
Right.
Yeah,
religious.
I
I
mean-
mean, forgive me for saying mythology. It's just something that came to my head. So, I misspoke.
Okay. So
Whatever.
I mean, I don't think it should be in public schools.
No.
No, not at
yes,
all.
it should.
Why?
Yes, it should. Because I said so.
Well, that's not a good reason.
What
Very,
tough?
very good reason, Scott. Bravo.
Now
Tough.
you sound like Donald Trump. 'Cause
No,
said
I don't
so.
care. I like Donald Trump. If you don't like it, it's fine. But you know what?
Such a
Some people
liar.
like drama in shows. Some people like to hear people fight and get along and not get along. Just
Okay.
kidding. Sorry.
But
And
why
some
does
people want
it
to
should
bring
be
that to
taught
our
in
public schools.
But
Right, I'm
wait
just
a
kidding.
minute. Wasn't it him that said on a couple episodes that he'd be mad if his son's teacher started talking about religion and the Bible in
Yeah, but I think that's
classroom?
why he was saying as an elective.
Who's him?
Right.
Are we talking
You,
about me?
Scott.
You.
Why are you saying him?
So-
Gosh, I just got trumped there.
Yes,
No,
Jerry. He was the one.
And I mean, I just don't think okay, so here's the deal. If you can't afford to take your kids to a Catholic school or a religious school and pay the tuition, yes, of course, take them to public school. But take them to the church and enroll them in the church classes that occur after school
Right. I
all
know.
you want. Enroll them in catechism classes and CCD, whatever it's called. There's plenty of that stuff. I don't think that should be taught in school.
I think that it would be going backwards in terms of progress because
Okay.
we spent literally decades to have the separation of church and state be fully enforced in school, to have our kids not have to say one nation under God every morning. And so to introduce religion back into public schools, it not only goes decades backwards in progress, but it makes us look like hypocrites. Because
Yeah,
so many
hypocrite.
people fought so long to not have those things, to not have to pray in school and things of that nature.
Right.
I was just
And-
kidding.
No, you weren't.
No, I was.
Now he was kidding.
No, I wasn't.
Something scary is that it seems to be happening more and more often, but I think I'm actually going to agree with Scott on this one.
Hmm?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
it's weird. I mean,
Wait,
I
It has
definitely...
to be more condescending than that. Why?
Why?
Yeah, right.
Why?
No, I understand the going backwards, taking a step backwards and reintroducing religion in school. But I mean, the sad the sad thing is, a lot of schools still haven't completely eliminated that. I mean, we discussed
Right.
that on an episode where Scott talked about Gavin's school and his teacher bringing up things, and Gavin even came on the show and talked about it and how uncomfortable it was to be in that classroom. And that's in 2015, 2016, whatever. I don't remember when he was on.
15.
But I think it coming from my side, the way that I look at it is that if we have, for the most part, taken the religion out of schools as a normal practice, but offer it as an elective,
As a human studies type course, right?
yeah,
That's what I was getting at.
as
Seriously.
that type of course in a junior or probably senior high setting where you've got those that are older, a little more already established in their beliefs, and they want to explore that. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, because
Good luck.
I think that at worst what it does is it's gonna upset some of the most intolerant atheist groups that are out there. Which, number one, boo-hoo, you can go fly a kite. But at best, what it's going to do is it's going to then create a new generation of young people in our society that know and understand and are therefore more tolerant of many different religions. Because it wouldn't just be one, it wouldn't just be
Right.
Christianity that would be covered. You would cover Hinduism, you would cover Islam, you would cover all of these different options over the course of whatever it is, if it's a semester-long course or if it's, a full year or whatever. That's a lot of time to dedicate to different religions, and it's not teaching that any one of these is the way to go. It's
Yeah, and the public school system is so diverse that it would help with that acceptance of belief system, or I get what you're just saying.
right. So taking it that route, I think that and again I go back to the stepping back and reintroducing religion into schools, which I think definitely as maybe a short-term problem to come out of it. Maybe we do take a little bit of a step back, but I think the long-term benefits of offering something like that and having kids go through it, even if it is an elective and not every kid takes that is a large number of people who are that much more tolerant to many different religions or and atheism or non-belief could even be a part of that study. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason to say that it couldn't be.
Steffi's
Because
just
you're
chomping at the bit.
viewing all sides of it. So that's my
Go ahead, Stephanie.
No, that clarified some for me, and I can see why in the long run that would be good. But can we afford to think long term when there are so many other issues in our public school system right now? Can we really introduce and force the schools to comply with yet another elective when we have so many schools across the nation that can't even afford to have an art class? They can't afford to have sports, things of that nature. And then you have the schools that have more income, so to speak, get more help from their states and their areas and things of that nature that can afford to implement this class. Then you will have the religious groups fighting, saying it's discrimination that this isn't offered in the lower income schools. And then you have children who can't take a music class or who can't learn more about a subject that they're truly interested in, but they can learn this. And to me, I feel like our public school system is in way too much of a crisis to try to introduce something like that.
Yeah, I think we need Glee Club before we need religion.
Exactly. Because and it's a matter of personal opinion, you have to go to, if you, 9 times out of 10, some universities encompass all. If you want to major in art, if you want to major in music, like really focus on that, you have to go to a specialized college a lot of the times. Whereas most universities across the nation offer religious studies, mythology, things of that nature. If that's something a child is interested in, they can continue education in that aspect. But a child does not even have the possibility in a lot of schools right now to find an interest in art or music or anything of that nature because funding's being cut so severely.
Sometimes they can't even get lunch.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other topic.
Sorry.
Next week, we'll talk lunch.
I prefer peanut butter. No. Yeah,
No,
we've
I-
derailed greatly. I'm
No,
sorry.
No, we haven't
Butter
derailed at
jelly
all.
time.
I don't think we have derailed at all. I think this really coincides with
Yeah.
what we are talking about because it's obviously the four of us have our own opinions on this particular sect of indoctrination. How can we make it not indoctrination, I think is what we were going for. Yeah, I just like it. But
Ban all religion.
what's that?
I said ban all religion.
Yeah, this would be chaos.
No, I totally get. All right. So, Scott, I love you.
I love you
But-
more.
Thanks. But I don't think that your reason for saying that religion should be offered as a course in school was the same reasons that Tyler had.
Maybe not. Maybe I just didn't-
Maybe like one or two of the few, but Tyler made a really good point,
he did,
and
but that's what he does.
Yeah, he kind of went more in depth off of what Scott said and clarified it a little more. And
Yeah.
like I said, I do see the benefits, but
I do see where it could be beneficial. I just think
Yeah. I just didn't word it correctly, and I'm sorry, but
I'm kidding. I'm kidding with you. Totally kidding.
excuse me.
Stephanie, did you see the episode where I farted?
I did not. I cannot believe that I missed you farting.
It's at the end of one of the episodes.
I'll have to find it.
I was wearing a brown shirt.
Ooh, okay. I'll remember that.
One of the few times it wasn't the plain
white
white
tee.
tee.
That's like me saying I was wearing a tie.
Well, see, Scott, because I always wear a white t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, it would be like saying that you weren't wearing a tie.
Right.
Oh, is that? Yeah, when I went
Yeah.
topless. That one
Oh.
episode.
See, I look put together, but secretly I'm wearing Harry Potter pajama pants.
Sweet. I came from the gym. I was in the hot tub and everything. I feel like I'm gonna get a disease or something.
Who's Jim?
Oh.
I went to work out.
With
Something
Jim
you know nothing about.
in the hot tub.
Married.
Yep. What else do we have on this topic? Anything else? Because we've only been at this an hour and 12 minutes.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
I feel like he's going to
Yes.
have to edit a lot out, though, because I'm
I
here and there's rambling.
I do have one question regarding indoctrination.
No.
No, Scott, I will not indoctrinate you.
You've tried already.
No, come on. I
Remember
told you.
the photo?
The reason that I tried was because I was not in my right mind. Because back then, when you knew me, I was drunk, stoned, or both.
Remember that picture of me licking your cheek?
I wasn't thinking clearly.
I should have said, I was just like, oh, Jerry.
You did that out of the kindness of your own heart. It wasn't me trying to do that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
by the look in your face, it looks like you orgasmed 4 times. Okay, Stephanie. regarding indoctrination and in belief and raising children as far as like, history of our world and stuff like that, when you're speaking with a child and you're trying to explain life to him and he believes that the shot came from the school book depository, but you believe that the shot came from the grassy.
Okay, so
We got an hour. We got an hour.
wow.
We got an hour in, no pictures or anything. I was so hopeful.
I didn't know. What happened there? I lost my connection.
I don't know why that's funny. Every time that happens, I lose my lid. I lose it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scott's phone number is 7. Feel free to text him anytime, day or night. Most
Now you just gave it to
preferably
Stephanie because she's
between 2 and 3 in the morning.
I have my phone on silent at all times, so Stephanie just wrote that down. She's like, I got this.
I'm actually toying with my cool new bottle opener. Oh.
Now, thoughts on The Force Awakens? Did you like it?
To an extent. I think that I like the way that it followed the series. I think that they're heading in a good direction. I think that they Disneyed it up a little bit too much. The original Star Wars did have, snarky humor here and there and things of that nature. But a lot of the humor in The Force Awakens was just unnecessary. Yeah, it did. Yeah, and it did make for, a good laugh in the theater, but it was like they were trying too hard to appeal to everyone when this is Star Wars. You're already appealing to so many people. You don't have to be hip,
Yeah. Han Solo was never that funny.
But
I
how many
think it was a
people
good
did the
start.
prequels appeal to? I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, good.
I could say.
But when you have 73 and a half hours of pod racing in a 3-hour movie.
Thank you very much, episode 1.
Right?
Can you hang up on Jerry because he's going to say he's never seen Star Wars?
I know he hasn't. We've been over this.
And he doesn't need this conversation.
I'm not the one presenting lunatic conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
The only thing that I will say is that it was a classic. Very nice. It was
From Jerry now.
We
literally
just
everywhere.
We just went to Party City today to get all of the Star Wars decorations and everything for the birthday party in a couple weeks. But it was a classic J.J. Abrams film in every sense that it was visually fantastic. It was amazingly paced. The humor, while a little over the top, was still great, and the last third just went to a giant turd.
Right.
It just could not stay together. Just every other J.J. Abrams movie.
But Ryan Johnson is going to produce the next one. I'm pretty excited about that.
So excited.
What has he done?
Looper.
Brick
was one of them. Yeah, Brick.
Yeah, Brick.
Yep.
Brick was a good one. He had another one that was fairly big, but Brick especially is what's got me. Brick was just so brilliant and so ahead of its time. One of my favorite movies, so I'm gonna nerd out. I'll stop. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what Ryan Johnson does with it.
So next week on the Star Wars podcast that we have on here,
right? Like there's not enough already.
Next week I'll show you the Star Wars bathroom.
Nice. So you're still planning on having the Star Wars theme party for him?
Yeah.
And you still want me dressed up as Leia in Jabba's lair for the party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except that I'm really upset that you cut your hair, because that was a part of it.
No,
Wait,
right.
whoa.
What? It's going to be a lot harder to get the extensions in there now and
I
get
got
the
it.
whole... Okay, all right.
I got him.
We are the ones that made him.
Crap if I filled up.
I know we were.
What did you say, Jerry?
I said, we are the ones that made you cut your hair.
You are the ones.
So
Yeah,
he
it's
can't
your
be
fault.
upset about it.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Mariah Carey's gonna have a reality show on E.
Oh God.
It's gonna be like, I don't know, like 8 episodes or
I
10
told you
episodes,
that.
something like that.
I gave you that news.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Listen. See this, right? It's called my cell phone. It's called an Android phone, and you know what it has?
I am familiar with the
Everything.
cellular devices, yes.
You see this right here, where it shows me my weather, right? I tap on that, and it gives me a feed of
Wait.
tons of news articles.
Wait.
Google now,
Stop.
and I learned it from there, Scott. You are not Google.
Just a quick announcement on Positively Godless for those of you who are curious and thinking that I am the one with the biggest ego in the whole show. Jerry just showed his cell phone with his screen saver thing.
My
his
background?
wallpaper, his background
As
is a
me as
picture of
Superman?
him.
That is so awesome, though.
That's
Right?
that's your head photoshopped onto Henry Cavill's body,
Yes.
isn't it?
On
I
his
didn't
cell
do
phone.
that. I didn't do that. A friend of mine
even if-
did that and posted it to my Facebook for my birthday. It was my birthday present.
Yeah, that's the one you would let me post in the show.
How
now you
excited are
skip.
you for the movie?
I'm excited just to see Henry Cavill as Superman. Even though
Right?
Brandon Routh is my favorite Superman, Henry Cavill's the hottest Superman. Oh.
So next week on Positively Superman, we will...
Oh, Stephanie, we love you.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. Since we are going to,
I don't even know where we've gone with this.
right? We talked about indoctrination as far as Jediism goes.
Do
That's-
you believe?
do you
right,
think that
it
Anakin was a
indoctrinate-
victim of indoctrination?
I believe Anakin was. I believe he was.
Scott?
What? Indoctrination by who, though? Who was Anakin's father?
The Force.
Jerry, you
I'd,
seen Star
I
Wars.
can't
Why
say
even
the word
comment?
right.
The Force?
Mitochondrians? I can't say it right. The things.
Just because I
The
haven't seen it
things!
doesn't
The
mean I'm-
midichlorians?
First of all, Scott,
Midichlorians, thank you. I can never say
Yes, but the whole, like, being taken from the planet by Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and...
He was,
like,
I
He's
mean,
the chosen one.
I know enough.
But was he the chosen one, and did he
Correct.
go through all of that, and then eventually become Darth Vader, and
Had
then
he?
eventually sire Luke and Leia, spoiler alert, and then go through all of that?
Slay the youngling.
Was that because of him being indoctrinated by the Jedi?
It absolutely was. Had he been left with his mother as a little slave boy, he never would have done any of that. He never would have slayed an entire little group of baby children.
Wait,
Yeah,
did
but
he
he-
resist at all at first? Did he resist?
Yes, he did.
Of course, then he was indoctrinated.
Oh my god.
Boom! You
Boom!
just got fooled.
Essentially, creepy old dude came up and bought him.
It's true.
That's a whole other story.
He was
That's
no
true.
more indoctrinated than Oswald was indoctrinated by John F. Kennedy.
Oh my god. So any final thoughts, you guys?
I may never come back next time you do that.
Yes, you
That
will.
You
would
will
be-
always come back
Yeah.
because your ego is bigger, way bigger than
That
And your
would-
pride.
That's true. You
Would
can
be-
see my ego from your house, Jerry.
No, I can see Russia from my house.
Oh,
She's hot.
wow. TP 2016. Any final thoughts?
I'm
Anything
good.
at all?
I have nothing.
I
Spay and neuter your pets. Now,
Don't text and drive.
final thoughts. No matter what you do with your children, someone somewhere is gonna think you up anyway. No, you can't say that. I'm sorry. I said it badly. But it's true, though.
But it was a
No.
great point. Try it
It
again
is,
without
though.
the F word.
No matter
give
what
Tyler
you
another edit.
do, no matter what you do when it comes to parenting, someone's not going to agree. Someone's going to think you're doing wrong. I think that you have to do the best that you can to let your child lead as far as their beliefs go and encourage that. Because at the end of the day, atheists can be guilty of indoctrination. Essentially, it is forcing someone to believe your set of beliefs without allowing them to question it. And I think if we don't raise free thinkers, if we don't raise our children to question things, then we're not going to be any better than the last generation.
I can't top that.
I hate when I speak and then you all just stop and look at me. I feel like I'm being graded.
No, I can't top that at all.
Close your eyes.
Close your
Stephanie.
eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. That's my final thought.
Stephanie, we love you and adore you
It was
so
great
much.
to be back, guys. Thank you
Will
so
you
much.
please come back again?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now that things are settled, I'm free anytime. So
Because then we can finally figure out if Oswald actually killed John Kennedy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Positively Godless. Look at the links below or in the screen or wherever they are. And talk to us. Bye.
Stupid.
What?
That was awful.
It's still recording.
What?
Rebooting. Hold on.
Why are you on
What are you
your
doing?
phone?
My Skype froze.
So restart it.
Hold on. Everything froze. I couldn't control delete. I'm just restarting the computer now. Hold on.
Jesus H.
It's fine.
You
Everyone's
need
happy.
a new computer. Oh,
Patreon me, bitch.
is this recording?
Yes.
Because you have to get this, Tyler. You have to get this.
I've got it.
Okay. If I wanted someone
Yeah.
to talk to me when my shows were on, I would have married a woman. Every
What?
time. Every
Why?
time I'm watching one of my shows, he's blabbing his mouth on the group mate. Every time. Shh. Watching my show.
Never
Shh.
got
But it's-
into it at all because
Was on Netflix? No.
yeah,
Do you have
and
Netflix?
I don't have Netflix. I've never had Netflix.
Oh
So,
my god. It's $8 a month.
uh,
Netflix is amazing.
as Patreon me, bitch.
This week on Positively Godless, we're going to talk Hinduism.
You can't do.
You look weird like that.
He looks
Hang on.
weird normally.
You look like a gnome.
Okay. Call me back now. I'm going to hang up. Hang on. Hold on. Not now. Call me back now. Not now. Okay. Call me back.
Hang up.
I don't know how. Oh.
Oh my god.
That's going in. That has to go in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Positively Godless. I'm one of your three co-hosts. Actually, two. Scott Lawrence by Tyler. Yep.
First off, Scott, proper grammar is yes, comma, Jerry, comma, spring forward, comma, fall back, because Scott doesn't have proper punctuation. Secondly,
And we always tease him about that.
secondly, we all know that I'm the dad, Jerry is the mom, and you're the bratty kid.
I agree with that.
Hey!
Thirdly, I proposed the 100 degrees as the cutoff, but you never agreed to it. You may have told Chocolate Chip Muffin about it, but since you never agreed, the 70
That's
degrees
so
stands.
adorable.
Fourthly, drops mic, walks away. Jerry's response, ROFL, MAO. Scott's response, ...
So that's what we do when we're not recording. We text each other.
And bust
Just-
on Scott all day long.
That's an asshole.
So it's the same via text. basically.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd rather be
Nothing's
an
changed.
asshole than a whole ass.
Oh, God.
On that note, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I have to get up with the kids early. You
Yeah,
guys
and
have a good night.
And
I'm
I have to clean the pussy box.
I'm gonna to that.
It was good to
Bye.
see you again, Stephanie.
You guys too.
Good night.